Welcome to Worgore TV, episode 85. I'm your host Adam, and today I'm bringing you a game of Age of Sigmar, the General's Handbook 2024 through to 2025. And I'd like to say a huge thank you if you're new to the show. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you do enjoy it, and if you do, don't forget to like, comment, maybe even subscribe. Heck, check out the website, see if you like it. We've got plenty of tournaments on there. Pop down to see us, see what other catchy videos that we're going to have on there. Enjoy it. And also, if you're a returning viewer, thank you very much. It means a lot to me. And without you, of course, thank you so much, my Wargorians, my patrons. You are amazing. You just make this so easy to do. Without you, I am nothing. I salute you. Thank you very much. Now, you'll notice I've not got anyone with me. Now, I know I have many personalities and I could play myself and, well, maybe that could be a future show. But no, we had a request to take on the Worgore TV challenge, which you'll say, Adam, what is the Worgore TV challenge? Well, if you want to play on the show, we will provide the armies and then you play. So, a couple you may have recognised if you've watched the show before, who almost split up over the last game, but didn't, and maybe going to split up tonight, but we'll see, and said they'd like to play on the show, but just give them an army, they'll turn up, they'll play, let's see how they get on with it. So that's exactly what we've done, and we're going to have Ben versus Jane. And so we're going to see how they get on tonight. Now, Jane is going to be using the Idoneth Deepkin, and Ben is going to be using the Kruleboyz. So it's going to be quite interesting to see their playstyles and see how this one works out for them. But, we'll look at that. I really don't know which way this is going to go, so I'm very curious myself. Of course, there's the competition for you to play along with at home as well. Don't forget, keep an eye out for this fellow here, Gotrek. He's going to be somewhere tonight, hidden, maybe behind Jane, maybe behind Ben, maybe behind me. But he's going to be somewhere. And if you see him, do shout out. It's going to be put in the comments and below, timestamp where he was, the little ginger fellow, and that'll enter you into our competition. So at the end of this General's Handbook, we can send that wonderful prize to one of you. Now, we do need to find out what scenario they're going to be playing though. Now, some say that if he was in a room with Gotrek, Mussolini, Hitler, and a gun with 2 bullets, Gotrek would be shot twice. All we know is he's called the Cleric.
Star Strike. In certain places in the mortal realms, the land is bombarded by fragments of magical ore that fall burning from the skies. These remnants of stars are coveted by ambitious warlords, as they can be used to forge deadly blades that will cut through any armour. Each player scores victory points at the end of their turns as follows. Score 3 victory points if you control at least one objective. Score 3 victory points if you control more objectives than your opponent. Score 4 victory points if you completed the battle tactic you chose to attempt this turn. The twist. At the start of the first battle round, after determining the active player must set up one objective on the boundary between both players' territories. At the start of the third battle round, after determining the active player must set up one objective on each of the long parallel lines in each player's territories. To determine the location of each objective, roll 2d6 and refer to the map below. Roll separately for each objective. If an objective would be set up wholly or partially on a terrain feature, do not do so. Instead, inflict d6 mortal damage on each unit wholly or partially on that terrain feature. Roll separately for each unit. The underdog can make the active player re-roll the dice for the mortal damage inflicted on each of the underdog's units is being determined. Then that terrain feature becomes an impact site. Control of an impact site terrain feature counts as control of an objective for the purposes of scoring victory points. Good luck, warriors, and let battle commence.
Welcome, dear viewers. Here we have our Orruk Warclans Kruleboyz army. Today we're the Kruleboyz Klaw. We have 3 drops. We have taken Law of the Swamp because we're the Swampy Boys. So we're starting on our General's Regiment, our Breaker Boss on Maya Brute Trogoth. He's our General. He's also got to backstab you as his command trait, and he has a little pebbly like Safara in a turn. Gives everyone a 5-up ward around him. Next up, in his regiment, we have the 2 Beast Skewer Killbows. One of these is going to be a bodyguard, and we're going to give it priority target. Yet to decide who we're going to be shooting with that. We'll wait for the battle for that. So, next regiment, Swampcaller Shaman with his trusty little potgrot. He is holding with him a unit of 20 Gut Rippers. And another unit of 20 Gut Rippers. There's a lot of Gut Rippers here, folks. And also to complete the round, we have 10 Hobgot Slitters. Little dudes. They're there for all kinds of fun. The last regiment, though, we have another Swampcaller Shaman with potgrot. Another unit of 20 Gut Rippers. Yes, we have 60 in this army, folks. And then to round it all off, we've got 10 more Hobgot Slitters. Now, wouldn't be complete if we didn't choose Manifestation Law, and today we've gone for the Primal Energy, for the Gnashing Jaws, Burning Head and Emerald Life Swarm.
Here we are under the sea, with the Idoneth Deepkin in the Achillean Beastmasters formation. As we zoom in, we will find the Eidolon aspect of the Storm, who is the General with Ancient Pride and the Armour of Sithai. Ancient Pride means that he cannot be hit on a 1-3 in combat, and the Armour of Sithai doesn't allow weapon abilities other than for companions. Speaking of companions, he is joined in this regiment by his trusty Leviathan, and this regiment is accompanied by one more, led by the Eidolon aspect of the sea, who is the Wizard in the army, and is joined by Lotan along with his trusty Octopus and 2 units of Morsar Guard Eels. Rounding out the list is the Manifestation Law of Twilight Sorceries, and that concludes this episode of Blue Planet.
Well, so Jay made me take turn 1. The Orcs weren't happy about this. They wanted them to come a bit closer so that we could beat them up in the first round, but whatever. So we started off, we went for take their lands, and we picked to go for this little half of a boat over here. We thought half a boat was important. But...
Leave Boaty alone.
So we cast a spell. We give these guys +1 armor save. We threw out a burning head, and then we decided to also give these guys filth encrusted weapons. I think that's what it's called. 5-up mortal wound thing. And then we moved on to the movement phase. And we thought the battle tactic is the most important thing to achieve here because it's worth 4. And we thought 3 up, and we'll teleport one of the little Hobgrot units onto the boat. And we rolled a 2. So they then had to use my CP to run to make sure that they got on the on the boat, which we did. That scored us a point. And then we thought, right, are we going to try and get on this objective? We can't get on this objective because for some reason Ben forgot that you can just roll a dice to run. And rather than just going, oh look, I've got on the objective, I just walked up to it and like stared at it for 10 minutes. Genius. Here.
I chose not to redeploy because I knew you'd then charge onto it.
Yeah, so we kind of moved a load of stuff up and just thought, like, we'll be aggressive. We're orcs. You got to be aggressive when you're an orc. So we just chilled out in the middle. And then the 2 crossbows decided they were going to take a couple of pot shots at the turtle. This was my super special 6 damage crossbow. Hit twice, wounded twice. She saved one of them.
Lenny is not impressed about this situation.
And he took 6 wounds. And then the other crossbow, which wasn't the super special crossbow, hit it twice, wounded it twice. She annoyingly failed both those saves, and it only did 7 damage because I rolled a 6 and a 1.
I did really well with my ward. No, it did less than that. I did really well
I did
with my
7
ward.
damage and then you saved it.
Yeah, so I took 9 overall.
And then, honestly, at this point, I just kind of want my dragons back and I give up. So it's your turn.
Well, first of all, dice not my friends. So the white dice have now gone. Red dice are here. You'll see why in a minute. So I decided to do some spells. They worked. I've put the wall out over here to try and make sure that any counter charges that were going to come at me couldn't just hit my heroes and things. Then ignored the wall and just kept one little hero behind it. Yay me. Put the spells out so I've got more distance here. Again, didn't use them. I was like, I'm going to do such thing. Didn't use them, but at least they look pretty on the table. Went for a heroic heal over here on Lenny. I got 2 wounds back out of 6 dice. 2 wounds, hence not impressed with the dice. Then we went into movement phase. He got in my head with all like the things he could do and made me like really doubt myself. So I was like, what do I do? So I ended up staying back really, really far because I went for the tactic of do not waver. So I have to fight with 2 units and fight with at least 2, keep everyone alive. So he got in my head and I'm like, I don't want him counter-charging as I'm moving or redeploying and getting in my way. And
I mean, just to clarify, viewers, she spent roughly about 5 minutes trying to decide whether I was going to shoot with 2 attacks on a 5-up. Possibly 20.
You got in my head about it. Like, normally I know what I'm doing, but new army
and then we got to the end of the shooting phase and she went, do you want to do anything? I went, no, I'm not going to shoot on 5-ups. It's a silly idea.
Yes.
Yeah, she almost broke down.
I was like, he's got so many CPs, so he can do this, he can do that. Yeah, very, very stressed out. So I then went for my rolls and my charges and everything charged, apart from my eels, which I decided not to charge. So that was very successful. And that was because I'd swapped dice. After failing so badly, because I did my shooting, failed epically with shooting. So then I swapped dice. And the dice went really, really well. I was rolling like 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s. It was brilliant. Amazing. Did my impact attacks where I meant to, took a few things out here and there. And as you can see, everything's still alive. So I got my tactic because I managed to do a fair bit. Like, look at this unit here, decimated. That's what the aspect of the storm and the aspect of the sea do. They're like, no, don't like you. Nah.
I mean, the Kruleboyz in t-shirts, they should be dead.
All right, fine. But I'm just happy after my dice rolls averaged. Get the objective because I'm now 5 and he's got 2 on there. So I end my turn on 7 points. And then we have to roll. This is the bit I don't like. Oh no.
Worgore TV.
Oh no.
Kruleboyz turn 2. Kruleboyz, turn 2. It's, I don't know what's happened, but it's going well. So, battle tactic, we went for Slay the Entourage. The only thing in the Entourage is the Eidolon of the Sea and the Turtle.
Yeah, poor Lenny.
So we started off, we decided we wanted more endless spells on the board because, you know, we can have all of the endless spells now. So we brought the Gnashing Jaws out to play. They're just sat here chilling. I
could not dispel anything.
Waiting to go. And we threw out a cheeky little +1 save and 5 Stew Mortal Wounds on them. And then we moved on over to the movement phase. There wasn't really much moving. The Burning Head was here. He kind of got out of my way to make room for this guy. He come round here, chilled out here. And the only other bit of movement that I really did was these guys are just sneaking up the edge of the board. Just doing whatever they want, really. Just living the best life. Unlike the brothers who died last turn. And then we went on to the powerful shooting phase. So,
give me nightmares.
Slay the Entourage. I picked the turtle. The crossbow that didn't have the anti-monster buff. 2 hits, 2 wounds, all-out defense, 2 failed saves.
Yeah, and then lots of failed ward saves.
Double 5 for damage. Failed all the ward saves.
Yeah. Yeah. You can have all the ward saves you want, no matter if you can't pass them.
And the turtle got 2 giant skewers through it and fell over. And the Kruleboyz rejoiced.
I'm traumatised.
And then I thought, well, I've not shot the good crossbow yet. So let's try and do something with that. So good crossbow, shot into the Eidolon of the Sea. Unfortunately, the Eidolon of the Sea did pass a save, so we only did 6 wounds, of which she passed two wards. Did 4, but it was enough to get us there. And then we went on to charges. So the only real major charge that I even cared about was this guy, who was here. And I'd kind of cocked up a little bit because I'd left the head there, so I didn't have enough room to get through. So the head had to charge and get involved when it didn't really want to. And then he charged into what was the Eidolon of the Sea.
Poor Henry. He's feeling targeted. I even swapped dice. In fact, I swapped to pink, wherever they are.
The pink are here.
Yeah,
give them
tried pink dice, they failed me. So I was like, swap dice for me. So now I'm on black dice. So far in 2 turns, only one of which I've had, I've used all sets of dice. It's not going well.
So, anyway, she roared him so that he couldn't have any all-out attack.
Yeah, I did my...
and then I just did 2 mortal wounds to myself, so I had 8 attacks and just punched it in the face really hard and it died, because that's how orcs do it. And then these guys over here who've been wrestling with eels, because eels are really good on the charge, but once you stop them charging and you just pin them in combat, they can't do anything. Especially
not with your Ren. With your 5s.
So they're just stabbing eels to death for fun and just don't really care about life at the moment over there. It's just great. So I now control the objective, and I also scored my battle tactic, making it 11-7, and over to Deepkin turn 2.
This turn did not go well. Look at the board. I have 1 model left. 1 whole model. I couldn't do any spells because I lost my spellcaster. So I was like, it's fine. I'll go. Oh, I did get a tactic though, which I've not put on. So I was like, you know what? I'll destroy the place apparently. I don't know why you invite me back.
She doesn't. You just turn up every now and again and he has to kind of let you in.
Like, hey, have me on. right. So I got a tactic because I was like, you know what? Cunning plan. Right, it's fine. So I'm getting there. So I had Eddie. Eddie was in combat over here with these guys. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go slay the entourage. I'm going to retreat out of combat because Eddie does not take mortal wounds when he retreats, and he gets to retreat and charge. It's his rule. So I was like, I'm going to go out. Stop it. He's always like thinking. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go after that gun that's kept shooting me. If I can try and kill the gun, at least there's only one gun then, doing a lot of damage to me, might have a chance to turn this game. So I managed to do all of that, and that went well. And then I rolled a stupidly low charge roll, so I ended up near the burning head, which was a disaster. And over here, I had my eels, you'll see. And I was like, I'm going to move them over here, and I'm going to charge and kill his monster. Did kill his monster. However, because of the new rules and the fact you can just fight within 3, all eels dead. Every eel. I was like, it's fine. Lohan's going to kill the burning head. Once I kill the burning head, and ideally my eels were still there, he gives everyone within 12 +1 to control. It's great. I'll control the objective. I count as more.
But the boss made a worthy sacrifice. He killed 4 eels. She charged him. He killed 4 eels when she charged him.
Yeah, did not go well.
The 2 left killed him. And then these 7 little Kruleboyz, the little
They
Kruleboyz
murdered
that
the
could,
eels.
they just piled in out of nowhere and just stabbed up 2 eels. And
Yep.
we're like, cool story, bro.
And-
I'm going home now.
And on top of that, Lohan, 8 attacks, managed to do 1 wound. 1 wound to the burning head. I only had to do 2 and he was dead. Nah, couldn't do it. So, black dice, not my friend either. Need new dice. The channel needs to get new dice on my demand. So,
I was going to say, don't forget about the part where you fed an idol onto a set of gnashing jaws. That was pretty spectacular.
yeah, but I had to. I needed to make sure I got Slay the Entourage. All I had to do was kill something in his... Is it the regiment these days?
General's
they're called?
Regiment, yeah.
General's Regiment. There we go. I know what it is. I had to kill something, which I did do, because I killed his thing that was in the regiment, and I killed his monster. So technically I did it twice. So if GW could give me double points for doing that, that'd be amazing. Not the way it works, but I wish, you know. So we've ended up 11 all, which not bad for so few models, but now I only have 1 model left. And I look at him sadly, and it doesn't make him like help me or be like, "Oh, I'll let you in."
Let's make Kruleboyz great again.
Oh no, he goes harder. So I think it's time we see who wins priority, and then I can just look sad because you're gonna table me.
Worgore TV.
No, me. Oh, I would get it, but
what can you do with it?
well, it would depend where the thing would come down, the objective. There's not a huge amount I can do. I do get to strike first in this turn. My tide means I go first with everything. So I could kill the burning head just out of moral victory. That's it.
Maybe.
Don't think there's much. Yeah,
I think it's probably time for a conclusion.
Yeah.
So, conclusion time, folks. Well, I'm just going to take these earplugs out because behind the scenes there was a lot of screaming, wasn't there?
Yeah,
There was
mainly a lot of the time at dice.
At dice, and then a lot of the time at Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. But well, I was kind of impressed. I mean, I got to admit, I didn't see a table in effectively 2 turns.
No, it was.
You know, I mean, turn 1, wasn't he going a lot of moaning? Like, well,
Yeah, it was like, oh, they're not going to win, they're rubbish.
This is stupid, and
Yeah.
I've forgotten to move, and well,
Yeah, and then
2 turns later,
all my models gone.
yeah,
Just to clarify, this scoreboard's the wrong way round right now.
Oh yeah.
yeah, she didn't bring it back.
No.
Yeah.
I wish. I
We
want to
should be
stand
there.
here,
She
though.
should be there. But basically, we moved it on, so we added up. You know, once the objectives had landed, you know what battle tactics Ben could have achieved, secure the flanks and seize the centre. Other than that,
It really helped the objectives landed in a really nice place for me.
Yeah.
They just landed in a straight line basically
straight line,
across the
and we
board.
just went.
Destroying the place. I don't know why you let me in.
No, again, do I? And if you
just
could comment as
invite
to why we let her
myself.
back, I have no idea either. Fortunately, he's taking her home. Please. Please. What? No?
That thing doesn't know either.
No, I don't blame him.
Entertainment. That's why.
I feel like you should never work with children, animals, and Jane. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely. I think it's the wrong way around. Just never work with Jane.
Yeah. Animals
just
and children are
Animals
fine.
and children, they're great. Yeah, it's this one. Right. Okay. Do you have a model of the match? Did you have a model of the match turn 1? Turn 2.
No,
She
I
didn't
would
have any
love
models
to
turn
say.
2.
I would love to say I had a model in the match, but
Well-
Lenny died really, really easily. Bless him. He tried, but he failed.
Lenny.
Possibly Eddie, because Eddie managed to do a little bit more. But they
Do you want
all
to tell them
just...
who Eddie is? Because people are losing track of the names.
Yeah,
so,
sorry.
like, yeah.
Eddie, the aspect of the storm, the fighty one.
Yeah, fighty idol.
Yeah, he did quite well.
Yeah.
And he did manage to get me the slay the entourage, so I'll give him that.
We'll give him that. Okay,
Yeah,
so
we'll give him
he's
that.
going to get it.
Yeah.
You got a Cruel Boy of the match?
It's so hard to choose.
Oh, please.
here we
I
go.
can't. The head is just... it's just too much.
I will come
It's
back
like-
and I will beat him
Oh,
because
yeah,
this
what
head
with a
keeps getting
stick?
bigger and
I was going
bigger.
to
both crossbows just
They wrecked.
did amazingly.
Yeah. There was the
all-
good crossbow, and then there was the really good crossbow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
they
three
hurt.
of the spearman unit guys. What are they called again?
You mean the gut rippers?
Gut rippers.
Oh, they're amazing, these two. I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Get them back every week. I'm thinking it the same. You know?
The 3 units of gut rippers.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't do terrific amounts, but
They kept
the
me
fact that
tied up.
they just lived long enough for the crossbows to just do whatever they wanted to do every turn.
Yeah, it was.
So
Yeah, they saturated. They've got 40 wounds for the reinforced unit. You're fishing for 6s. If you
You
get the
got
dirty
a
tricks
lot.
of the 5s,
Fives.
then you can do it into 5s. So and mortal wounds everywhere.
Yeah.
Crit mortal. That's
yeah,
That was
terrifying.
horrendous.
You've got-
That hurt.
yeah.
you've got your +1 armor save spell from one of the two dudes. The other one can all out defense, and all of a sudden these t-shirt wearing losers go to
They were not losers today.
heavy lifters of the highest degree.
Yeah, they did. It was like, they did. Yeah, effectively in 2 turns, we'd lost an Eidolon, well, 2 Eidolons,
2 Eidolons,
a turtle, and those 3 all have 5 up.
A full
Five
units
up
of eels
wards.
as well.
Only, and don't forget the others. This
All
isn't a
the
generation
others.
game. We're not just like shouting out names as they come back. Cuddly
He
toy,
is. He's like, look what
it's situational for the viewers out there. It's a very old show, but at the end of the day, do flick back to it. Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, I'd lost nearly all my eels. I lost the 2 Eidolons.
The will
I
to live.
lost the turtle. Yeah.
Yeah, the dice.
I had the 1 model, and I'd swapped dice. I don't know how many times.
Even the dice didn't know how many times
No,
they swapped.
no.
Yeah, they
and
swapped.
you
yeah.
know, like the 3 monsters, they have a decent save, a 3-up
Yep.
save, and a ward save.
And a 5 ward save.
And I still
Yep.
could not survive the units. They were just
just
so
too much.
oppressed. That combined with the shooting,
Yeah.
it was a pretty nasty list.
I was going to say, what do we think about the scenario? We didn't get to play it for long, but
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really get to play it because the first one was in the middle,
Yeah.
and by the time we got to the other 2 coming down, everything was dead and it was game
yeah,
over.
he got the scenario. I just was like, well, I can't hop around for
I think
this.
I think as we kind of brushed over while we were playing the game, it didn't really obviously come into play, but the underdog twist is
for this one's a bit meh.
Yeah,
kind of
it's
poor.
different.
Meh.
It doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm sure you listen to the cleric deeply. But yeah, if it lands, if basically it hits a piece of terrain,
It blows the terrain up essentially and does mortal wounds to everything near the terrain. And if you're the underdog, you get to force your opponent to re-roll how many mortal wounds it does.
which is as a sort of underdog compared to some of the scenarios, is a bit.
Some are
But,
really,
yeah,
really good.
because
This is
I mean, if they could see the board in front of them, it didn't actually hit any terrain.
No.
No, it didn't.
Even
So
if there was any models left,
It
the
wouldn't
underdog.
matter.
didn't get anything.
get
There was no
anything.
benefit at
Yeah.
all, other than 1 command point. You get a
Yeah.
command
Yeah.
point, and that's it. Yeah. So
and you were not really using them. You weren't needing them.
No, I think in that last turn I had 4 and I used 1.
Yeah.
yeah,
You-
something like that. No,
You
it
weren't
was,
needing them because you were
it was
just
quite
like,
a
pick you.
didn't really expect it, but really quite a dominant performance by the Kruleboyz. You know, we coming into the edition, we all thought Kruleboyz were going to be okay, but now actually playing with them,
They're pretty good.
they're not as silly as maybe looking on the paper. The t-shirt save, there's some dirty tricks in there. You Kruleboyz, you're going to enjoy yourselves.
Just to upset all the Iron Jaws players out there, Kruleboyz are now the best orcs.
Oh, he does like to get in trouble.
On that note, if you enjoyed watching me and Jane,
I'll be back.
I'll be back. He's not. He's going.
I'm getting edited out of this video.
Yeah, it was like, there's this strange entity that was rolling dice, but we never saw him again. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, please do join us again, and obviously not Ben. Join us again, and check out some of the other videos. Heck, even check out the website. Don't forget, you can like, subscribe, comment. Surely there must be comments about, did you see Gotrek? Did you see him? If you did, Don't forget to point out where you saw him and at what timestamp you saw him as well, ready for that competition. And, as we always say, until next time, bye!